Hey guys, welcome back. Okay, so we're going to be looking at this week's price action, and this video is recorded on June 2nd. So in case you're watching this video in the future, you know which week is June 2nd, right? So this week was pretty rough, like I mean very rough. On Monday we had banks holiday, and I stated very clearly on the weekly forex analysis on Sunday that I was not going to trade on Monday, only Tuesday and Wednesday. And on Thursday, we had, that's the entrance to the NFP itself. So I said I don't trade Thursdays and Friday on NFP weeks. I don't trade Thursdays and Fridays on NFP weeks. All right. So why I don't trade Thursdays and Fridays on NFP weeks? Because most times buyers or market conditions just change. So if you want to trade Thursday, your buyers, what you be expecting, everything might just turn around in a matter of seconds and everything. So looking at this price action, I'm going to break it down every day. Like this is just the price action of the whole week, 15 minutes view, right? So looking at the 1 hour, let's look at the 1 hour time frame. We were expecting price to reach for all these fair value gaps on the forex analysis. For Nasdaq, we were expecting price to reach for all these fair value gaps. All these fair value gaps are on field. Let's look at the daily time frame. So you see all these fair value gaps on the daily time frame. Price did not reach for that. Price did not even reach for the consequent encroachment of this fair value gap before it starts rallying, which is not ideal. It's not. I wanted price to come deeper down, but since we don't control this market, we only wait for price to do what it does, and we react, right? So if I if I had taken a trade on Thursday, I would have probably lost that trade because I was expecting price to take out either previous daily high and continue the downwards movement. But price did not do that because NFP weeks can be very unpredictable and sometimes very tricky. All right, that's why I don't trade NFP weeks. Okay, so let's look at each and every day of this price action. All right. Okay, so this is the price action for Monday. And although most people still traded, but I don't see exactly what I will be trading here on Monday. This was bank holiday. We have this large void. That's the new week opening gap. It's annotated there. You can see that new week opening gap. We have it there, and we have Monday open to Monday close. So this is all the price action I want you to be paying attention to. So price just reach out for this fair value gap on Sunday and kept on consolidating. At some point, the market was just quiet, like just ticking, like clock right there, and there was nothing to trade there because the algorithm was not active at this point. Okay, so let's go to Tuesday. Let's look at Tuesday's price action. Okay, I like using my vertical line. I like using these two. So I know exactly when the day is starting and when the day is ending on the charts. Okay, so we have price reaching for this weekly fair value gap. This is the weekly fair value gap. You can see there. Let me go to the week. That fair value gap I outlined. You can go to your charts and find there's a weekly fair value gap there on the weekly time frame. So you can see that weekly fair value gap. I wanted price to reach out for that weekly fair value gap, and we did it very early on Tuesday. Price reached for that weekly fair value gap, and I know most people were looking for buys at this point. Let price just keep buying, but you cannot expect to be buying when we have on field fair value gaps here on Friday, last week Friday, right? You cannot expect to be buying. So when I saw this large drop, then that was when I wanted to get in. That's my trade there. So using the 15-minute time frame, look at the trade there. Intraday AMD. I've taught it that particular lecture on this channel. So we have this fair value gap there, drop there, and we have this other candle starting from there. So we have that gap there, which is the intraday AMD. On the 1 hour time frame is larger than that, but on the 15-minute time frame, you want to get the precision of that, the exact fair value gap where price, or the exact level where price is going to reach out for, right? So we have price trade into that level. You can see the bodies of the candle respecting that fair value gap. This is telling you that price is likely to return from there. So if you see the 15-minute time frame candle respecting that fair value gap, shoot a week first, then this candle rejects, then another candle shooting a week. It's telling that if you see the next drop is telling that okay, price is respecting that fair value gap. But if this candle should violate that fair value gap, let's say this first candle should candles like this first candle closed above that fair value gap, right? It's closing above that fair value gap, then the second one closing above. That's telling you that that is likely an inducement. Don't trust that, because the moment you see this drop and you pick a sell there, you'll be used as a liquidity, because first price have already shown you that it's not respecting that fair value gap. But here I want to see the bodies of that candle respecting that fair value gap. So we don't have any crossing here on the 15 minutes. And I was like, very, very clear and very, very how am I going to put it? I was like, it confirmed that price wants to reject from there. So when I saw this drop, I was not paying attention to all of this consolidation, because on the 1 minute time frame, a lot of consolidations there on the 5 minute time frame. So I waited for that large drop, and this was the drop here. So that drop, you wait for, that's the 5 minutes OT. You can see price breaking this low, sweep this high, break this low. You can see that this candle is a breaker. Outline that candle. That's the breaker there. Use that for your entry. You can see that you see how these candles are, the algorithm, just that precision. That's what you want to be looking for. That was my sell for Tuesday. I took a trade there on the first three candles drop on the 1 minute time frame, so I could get a very good risk to reward ratio. So I took a trade there. I wanted price to respect this fair value gap first. Then I wanted to see the simple entry model on the 5 minutes. You can see the simple entry model sweep this high, price come sweep this high, then break, give me that breaker. If there's no fair value gap, you be sure to check for breakers, right? I want to see that last down close candle, and that's my trade there. So you pick your trade, then trade down there. This fair value gap is the target. The first fair value gap on Friday is always the target whenever you are trading that manipulation phase. So this was the manipulation phase. This was the manipulation phase. All of this, I wanted price to manipulate, but because it is NFP week, we did not take any sell side liquidity. We only dropped into fair value gap. And I know some of you feel like, can fair value gap be used as drawn liquidity for the manipulation phase? No, I know it's using it here, but it's not something that happens continuously. Remember what I said on the last lecture, that you want to find something that happens continuously, repeatedly, than something that happens once in a time. So this is something that happens, let me say, once in a quarter, or once in half a year. So since I've been trading this year, I've never seen this price reacting to a fair value gap on the manipulation phase before distributing. I've never seen this. So just stick to the traditional way of what I thought, right? So that is the entry there. You could hold this trade if you want to. If you don't want to be let me say a day trader or a short-term trader, you don't want to hold trades, then you could possibly have you could have closed your trades just below this NWG, but you could hold that trade to this fair value gap, right? But I closed my profit just when price took this SSL. So when price opened for the next day, my trades was still on, and I closed them immediately. Price took this low. So there was my exit. Yeah, it was my exit. Price taking that low, right? So that was my trade for Tuesday. I said I was only going to trade on Tuesday and Wednesday. The price give me a perfect OT there. That breaker, let me change the color of that so it doesn't get confusing. So that breaker is my trade. Perfect entry there. Perfect entry. That's how you trade. These things are not complicated. Okay, they're not complicated. So we have the new day opening gap for Tuesday, and we have Wednesday price action. Then what happened? I just saw these consolidations and all of these consolidations. Price reaching for the end of NDOG. This would have been a perfect entry, but I did not enter there. I entered using the intraday AMD. Let's go to the 1 minute and see how you could have possibly entered that trade. 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. Okay. I don't like using the bar replay. So most of you that have been following this channel for now know that. I don't like using the bar replay. Okay, so we have that end of NDOG, new day opening gap. Please don't be confused. Okay, so this would have been my trade if I wanted to enter with that NDOG, but I did not. I used the intraday AMD. So we have price. You can see the levels. Just look at it. Look at that. Look at these levels. This candle respecting that void, that new day opening gap. The second candle respecting it, the third candle respecting it, the fourth candle respecting it. This is what you want to be looking for. This is the precision. This is the algorithm footprint you want to be looking for. This is telling you that okay, price is ready to reject here. Then you have this drop breaking this low. That's the the ICT 222 mentorship entry pattern, the OT, whatever I want to call it. And that is your trade entry. So entering this trade here, stop loss just above this week's, but I've given you at least 5 risk to reward ratio. Very good trade for Wednesday. Very good trade for Wednesday. But that was too fast. I'm not going to say I took a trade that I did not take. Okay, I did not take that trade. When I came, that was already past me. It was too fast. Okay, so I waited for another trade. That's the intraday AMD. You need to go and study these things. As I'm outlining these things, go back to your charts and study these things, right? Go back to your chart and look for these things. How you could have possibly picked the trade and everything. Okay, so this was what I used. The 15 minutes gap. Okay, so price reach for this fair value, that last week fair value gap, then starts coming for that intraday. At this point, I wasn't so sure that price is going to trade from this level. I wasn't so sure, but what I teach works, so I just had to trust it, right? Intraday AMD, I waited for price to drop, and that was my entry. Okay, so price dropped, and this was very late at the New York PM session. This was very late, and I was there on my system looking for trade entry. I have not traded since morning. I was just there, looking for setup. I missed this one. I was pissed. I was pissed off a little, but I was like, there's another opportunity. So because I missed that trade, I would have already taken my profit here. Just a matter of, I think this was a space of 1 hour or 2 hours from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. But I waited for another trade. So this was 5 minutes. I saw this drop breaking all of this low, you know, breaking this void here. So I said, okay, that would be a perfect entry. So I took a sell there with a leap of faith. Trust me, I wasn't so sure, but I wanted to learn from whatever that trade result would be. Right, I wanted to learn from it. I wasn't so sure that that trade would go to my direction because of it was consolidating for almost 2 hours inside there. And I was like, okay, fine. I just took that trade and price drop there. I got my alerts, offloaded my profits, and that was the trade for Wednesday, and that was the trade for this week. Everything there. So after that day, we have the first day of June. That was Thursday. I had nothing to do on this day because I don't trade Thursdays and Friday NFP week. I think I've said that pretty clear now. So we have this consolidation and we have all of these movements on Thursday. There was nothing here for me to trade. Nothing actually. There was nothing for me to trade. If I wanted to trade the intraday AMD, you can see this, there's this void here. If I wanted to trade that void, I would have probably got stopped out, or have been stopped out for that. So this is what NFP week does. You can see it there for yourself. That is exactly what NFP week does. So you should learn to avoid this kind of weeks, right? Learn to avoid this kind of days. NFP week Thursday and Friday. Learn to avoid these days. There's nothing I would have traded here in these days. There's nothing, none of my setup, nothing I'm seeing here, right? Even you wanted to use this as an intraday AMD, but this is still algorithm. This is still algorithm, right? We are not going to ignore that. This is intraday AMD, but there was no much profit. This was just at Asian session, and I don't trade Asian session. This was okay, 3:45 p.m. 3:45 p.m. That's New York PM. New York PM session. So I don't trade that. You wouldn't have gotten much trade. You would have just held it to the next day, which I don't like. I don't like taking trades at that hour of the day. I don't like taking trades. I want to take trade towards during two, two or three. But when it's already getting to four, when market closes, I don't want to take trade at that time. I don't want. So this was what Thursday did, and that could have been your entry. I asked on the community channel, but nobody could answer. That could have been your entry. Anyways, for Friday, which is today, there was nothing much to trade here, but this is simple. We have previous day low, which price swept swiftly, very, very, just small week. I saw people, buying below this low, and I was like, what are they actually doing? No, this thing is algorithm, and you need to follow these things algorithmically, right? You need when price was just buying and selling and all of those up and down. I was just looking at the charts carefully, waiting for price to set that low, and I was kind of cooking spaghetti, everyday life stuff. I was cooking spaghetti in the kitchen when I got my alert that price just reached for that low. I was like, oh wow, finally. So at least it did not get to the level I want according to my bias, but everything I wanted to see intraday just showed itself. The previous day low, where price will come and start rallying. We have a trade there. Price takes out that low, even if it's very very small, but it's a liquidity sweep, right? Then you could have either waited for an OT to break this high, which did not happen, before you take your entry. So that's just NFP weeks for you. Lot of ups and down from here. I think this was 8:30 8:30 NFP. So from here we had down, then up, then we have it down and another up. So this is why I do tell you guys to avoid NFP week. I know even after saying these things, people will still trade NFP weeks next month. But this week, these 2 days are not very algorithmic. You can see we expected more downwards movement, probably to these fair value gaps, but we did not do any of that. So on Sunday, I will record the weekly forecast, that's the weekly analysis, and we are going to see our bias for the coming week and what you're supposed to expect. Are we expecting more bullish movement or more bearish movement? Either ways, wait for the video to be uploaded on Sunday. Right. So thank you for joining. And again, for the last lecture I dropped, I think the MIMB, I think that's the last lecture I dropped, episode 24. So this is the on the 1 hour time frame. This is our MIMB for this week. Remember, there are multiple MIMB though. We have this fair value gap, we have this other fair value gap. Remember, I said this always a fair value gap that is left unfilled. On a normal day, Friday will come for this fair value gap before rallying, right? But this is the MIMB for that week, so you don't want to expect that. That's why I set my alert on this low. So that's that for this week market and review. Go and study these things. Trust me, you want to write these things down. It will come in handy in the coming weeks, right? Journal your trades and have a peaceful weekend, brothers. Till next time, be safe.